Somebody tell Tony to get in here so he can hear himself over DR's waves. You understand, overstand, and understand me? Chicken Pawn. This out. Where's Johnell at? You're not a pretender, remember. 568. Yes, sir. I haven't seen when he pulled up. Oh, he just pulled up. That's all.
Wow. I wasn't ready for that.
Feeling vintage today, man.
I wasn't. I like that though. I like that though. Oh, you see what Doug say? So who's this? The Hot Shots, baby.
Doug, yeah, that's the Hot Shots. I remember this record, man.
Woo!
Send this to somebody, man. Send this live.
Yo, they need to put this. I was telling you, I wanted to put this to like a clip, like for when the NBA playoffs come. Yo, watch.
Ooh.
We putting it on there. We gonna put something together. We
I didn't even think about that.
We could collab on that, yo. Trust. It's gonna go crazy, and the NBA gonna take it. That's the bag right there. Or we could just make an NFT out of it.
That too.
Word. You got Dion in here.
Then what would they pay for it? Are all rights still reserved if I created it with my own original song?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Who produced this song, yo?
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't own the beat, so that would be the
Oh,
issue.
so this is an online.
Yo, when he hear it, well, when he hear it, he'll pop up.
These are like the leases, the beats we lease online and stuff like that. From
I think who got this, Johnell?
I don't remember where we got it from.
Wasn't it from one of those websites where you could just go and get beats?
Yeah, that was the
for
way.
Like 25 cents.
That was the way. Yeah.
That was the best. That was the best. You go up there, you get a whole pack of beats, like 5 beats. And the crazy thing is, yo, they would charge you that because the tag was on there. Now every single song has the producer tag on it. Like I know more producers than I know rappers now. Real talk. I know the producers are bigger than the rappers now. I don't even know who the It's like, oh, I listen to it. Oh, this produced by Harry Fraud? Okay, I listen.
Right. Mustard, all those guys, you know, what do you call it?
La Musica. That's my guy. I like him a lot. All them French Montana beats.
What's his name? The one that Retro
Boomin? Oh,
Retro Boomin.
He got like 3 tags.
Yeah.
If you're Metro, don't trust you. I'm going.
And I like the Mustard one. Mustard on the beat.
I love that. And then Mike Will made it. That's
Mike Will made it was fire too.
Yo, he had a run, yo. Like he had like 2-3 years that was like everything.
Early 2010 to like 2012.
He had Miley Cyrus popping like a rapper.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Jay's on my feet. I like that song, man.
Yo, that song was tough. I don't care what anybody say. Hate on it if you want to.
Now that song it was like bands to make them dance. Yeah, that with Jay. That was fire. He did the Lil Wayne joint too. As Long as They Love Me.
Yep.
And, with Drake, and Lil Wayne. That was pretty dope.
Yep.
All right, let me get this thing rolling. All right. If you're in here, send this to somebody who needs to hear some good basketball talk. We got some crazy cats up here, but the conversation, dialogue, and the discourse is valid. So tap in and help somebody tap into as we continue to grow this show. All right, we're gonna get right into it, and I see y'all. The producers decided to get spicy right off rip. There are apparently internal discussions about Russell Westbrook or the Lakers looking to trade Russell Westbrook. Is there any chance at all the Lakers would do this? Because I don't see it. It would be awful business, bad for the brand and what they say they represent. But it's basketball. It's professional sports. Anything could happen. What say you guys to that?
I'm gonna yield my start time normally to Johnell. I want to hear where he sits. I want to respond after that.
So, do I think it's going to happen? No. But I think the reason it doesn't happen is more because of the contract than anything else. The reason why I do think there is potentially internal discussions is LeBron's window's closing. Anthony Davis has kind of proven to not be the guy. And for whatever reason, Russell Westbrook is just not gelling with the rest of that team. So if they were able to flip him for pieces that could help them win this year, I absolutely think they would. Again, I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there's a market for Russell Westbrook that's going to yield anything that the Lakers would actually need in order to win this year.
Right. And that's the big thing, Johnell. It's like I truly think about it from a standpoint, if I'm a general manager, like what do I want to accomplish? What do I want to feel? How do I want to feel good after I make this trade? What do I want to get back? You know, you look at what Russell Westbrook's making, salary wise. You look at what you gave up to get him, and you look at the input the input you expected him to put out. And how am I going to get that back? Am I going to get it back in one player, two players, three players? What you thought you were going to be getting from Russell Westbrook. You thinking you're going to be getting triple-double Russell Westbrook, but now you're getting some other version of that. I don't know if he's done as a player, but it just is not fitting over there right now, and it just seems crowded in that whole offensive unit over there. Unless they're outrunning, when they're outrunning, the Lakers are special in that. I mean, that goes a lot for a lot of teams in the NBA, but when they're half-court offense, it just seems a little crowded right now. And Russell Westbrook just seems he's not going to sit in the corner and spot and knock down shots. And that's the type of guys that they need to put around LeBron, or at least that we've seen him have around him in order to win. So I just think that if they're going to trade him, where and what are you going to get back? What are you looking for? Because I don't know if you're trying to get his max value back. I don't know if there's a team that even if they wanted to give it to you, has it to get
Agreed.
it.
So if we go to the nitty-gritty of the facts, which would lie in a Russell Westbrook trade, we know that the Lakers are not trading Russell Westbrook unless LeBron has signed off on it.
Correct.
Can we agree on that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys think LeBron is like, yeah, get Brody the hell up out of here?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Because he loves them, and I think it's been what a couple dozen of games that they've
actually played together.
We've seen a body of work with Russell Westbrook, though. What are we talking about? So let me ask you this, Sean. What's your standard as a Lakers fan?
Oh, you know me. It's ship or bust.
Okay, so with this team currently constructed, are they going to win a championship?
No, but if you get Russ out of here, you bring in the help, and AD still that AD, they're not winning a championship either. So I think AD's got to step up his game to 2019 AD for the Lakers to be able to win a chip, regardless of.
And I absolutely agree with that. But take LeBron off the team, a Russell Westbrook and AD team is not a championship contender either.
No.
At this point, as much as I would hate to say it, if the Lakers don't win a championship in the next couple of years, they're not going to win one with this cast as currently constructed. So it's at some point, I almost feel like you have to cut your losses and be like, all right, this was an experiment. It didn't work. We need to shake things up because we've only got LeBron for 2 more years, 3 more years, maybe. And even then, we see his production starting to take a dip. Like, he's superhuman, but at some point, Father Time is undefeated. So I get what you're saying. I don't think LeBron wants to get rid of him. I think Laker fans love Russell Westbrook. Like, I don't think it's that. But if we're talking about the standard of the purple and gold, of Kobe and Shaq, of all those championships, this team is not it as currently constructed. And really the only piece potentially would be Westbrook. I mean, I don't think the Lakers want to get rid of AD. I think at some point they think he's going to round into the player that we saw in New Orleans. I don't know if that's true either, but you know, the fact that they're having discussions, I'm not surprised about. Whether or not they actually pull the trigger on it or they find a suitor who's willing to pull the trigger on it, I think that's where, you know, this deal would fall through.
Do the Lakers upgrade if they flip Russ for Dame right now?
If they flip Russ for Dame right now, is that an upgrade?
Mm-hmm.
The way Dame's playing right now, it's honestly a lateral.
That's what I'm asking.
It's a lateral move, in my opinion, right now. There, you know, and honestly, at least with Russ, you're getting that high level athleticism. With Dame, I mean, it appears that he has lost at least half a step, and definitely he's not getting up off the ground like he used to either.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Cash. I don't know. We haven't seen it from either one of them in the play. I mean, we've seen Dame make big plays, and we've seen Russ make, you know, go on a run. He was in the finals. Is it a huge upgrade? Not really. And honestly, and again, like I'm saying all this, I don't know what the move would be. Like I don't know who the Lakers.
Buddy Hill, they go back and recircle the Buddy Hill stuff with Sacramento. Maybe get a guard in there with Buddy Hill and some picks.
You got to empty Sacramento's roster to match those salaries.
I know.
Yeah.
Like you got to get like 10 players on Sacramento to equal Russ's.
No, because De'Aaron, unless they trade De'Aaron and Buddy, which they won't do. But De'Aaron is getting some bread. He's on a max now, so De'Aaron and Buddy got paid. You throw in some of the money, extra players to make the money work. You know how that stuff works. That's their job. The GMs are smart. They know how to figure that stuff out.
Yeah,
I guess it looks at what the other team is looking to do with their guys. Because I also say, like, if you do have young players and guys that can help you, why would I take Russell Westbrook and all that money off him, or like off your hands and do you this favor, even if I am trying to rebuild? That's what I always say.
And Cash, I agree. I think the other part of that is, even as great as Russ is, what's he going to bring to that team? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the team, the potential suitor, they would have to have a need for Russell Westbrook. And I don't know anybody who has that right now.
He's not a fan draw like that. It's not like he's going to go to a small market team like Sacramento and immediately they're going to start selling out the arena. You know what I mean? Because of Russell Westbrook's there now. I don't think that he's got that kind of effect. So when you're getting him there, it's going to be for leadership in your locker room, veteran presence, somebody who, you know, even though he hasn't won a championship, has won a whole lot of games in the NBA. That's what you're selling if you're the Lakers. But just saying that it doesn't fit with our thing right now, what we're trying to do on the court. And that's really it. I'm sure that everybody on that team loves Russ. They all play Team USA together. They know him. They all live in LA on the offseason, so I'm sure they all hang out and have dinner, and their kids know each other, blah, 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 blah. But is it working on the basketball court? And it's just not right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
I'm still.
But I don't know what they could do with him exactly. Again, too.
Yeah, I still want to see how things go. But if the Lakers have a deal for a guy like Dame or a package deal for a guy like Jeremy Grant, which would be a huge pick.
That would be huge about that.
And
I think Detroit is in that position right now to where we're a third of the way through the season. They really like their young guys. And Jeremy Grant, he went there for one reason, to get a bag. He got the bag. Yeah. Now go win somewhere. You know, like you got an all-star vote. You know, go somewhere and help somebody win. That's somebody I'm shocked that Portland hasn't gone after. That's somebody I'm shocked that all these teams that are like right there, kind of teetering on the line, haven't gone and got him. Because Detroit is clearly in a rebuild.
Oh yeah, they're looking to move him. And I wonder if Russ's trade leak has anything to do with the fact that reports are in that the Lakers, Shams reported that the Lakers are interested in Ben Simmons, right? I don't know how that. Make of that what you will, but we're gonna move forward. We're going right into trades, right? We're talking about free agents that signed. You know, there's a period before guys could be traded. They can't be traded immediately. And December 15th, today is actually that day. With that said, which free agent would you guys keep an eye on that could potentially be moved now that the trade periods for newly signed free agents have been open.
Let me ask you a question. Are you asking me what I want that's potentially out there, or what I would like to get rid of from my particular team?
BOAF, both.
All right. Well, Evan Fournier, the experience is over.
Really?
He gotta go.
Yo, the way y'all was going crazy about, bro.
I loved him so much, yo. And the thing is, it was flow. I loved his game. Everything before in Boston, I was like, they're not using him right. Get him over here. Maybe we could. I think he was gonna work. He was working good with Julius Randle his first 10 games, and then something has happened. The Monstars took his talent, yo.
Why do you think somebody going to the Knicks would make them better?
Huh?
Wow. This guy.
Why do you think somebody in a different situation than going to the Knicks would make them better?
This is what you want to do to this program. You want to turn it into corny shots at the Knicks. This is what you want to do to our fans.
You're saying Evan Fournier. I'm assuming Kemba Walker is going to be right behind him.
Yeah, they're both going. Those are two free agent signings, really.
Bro, who wants Kemba Walker?
Nobody's going to want him.
Janelle's getting mad, right?
Nobody's going to want him. But what I'm saying is these guys got to go. But that's the problem. Is the way they're playing right now. Nobody's going to want him. Honestly, though, Kemba, somebody's gonna call about him. Stop. Somebody's gonna call. They're not gonna give him great, but they're gonna call about him.
They're gonna buy him out. Buy him out. Someone will pick him up. Maybe he's not getting traded anything for. Absolutely not.
I think so.
Man.
Yo, his contract is $18 or $19 million guaranteed. What is like?
No, it's not.
Yeah, what?
He makes $8 million
for 2 years. His 2 years.
$8 million this year and $8 million next year. But it's okay. So that's
guaranteed. Yeah, but that's 16
nobody wants to pay that.
Yeah,
nobody wants to pay what over 2 years. That's chump change in the NBA.
No, it's not.
He doesn't play.
Not for Kemba.
That's nothing.
Okay, so Johnell, he wants his Knicks bums to be cleared off.
I want him out.
What
about Devontae Graham though? That's what I'm saying. On a Pelicans team, he got his bread. He's on a Pelicans team they're just suffering right now. He signed that contract over the summer. He's available to go. You think they let that go, or you think that he's somebody that they want to build with? Devontae Graham. I like him as a player.
They like him. He's a good player. But you have a crowded backcourt, bro. Where are you putting all these players?
Get the other guards out of there.
It's quickly. It's Derrick Rose.
I want the 2 free agents that we signed. I got the receipt. I want God. I'm bringing them back. I got till January 15th. It's a return policy. I want store credit. Give me anything. Give me anything for Kemba Fournier.
Bro said, give me a selfie with Spike on the floor and shoot. Yo,
I'll take anything.
Yo,
Johns, who might be moved, bro? Who might be moved? That's worth noting.
So if we're gonna keep with the theme of the Knicks making players bad, let's go with Reggie Bullock, down in Dallas. He hasn't played well. He hasn't meshed well with
$30 million too, by the way.
Yeah.
He got them on the hook for $30 million.
Yeah, and that's part of the issue. But I think there's still an intrigue to him. He hasn't played well this year. He hasn't shot the ball well. And in the games that he started, he actually took the starting spot from another former Knick, Tim Hardaway Jr., because Tim Hardaway Jr. wasn't playing well either. But I think there's still intrigue about Reggie Bullock, and the fact that at some point they feel like he's going to level out. And because of that, I think Dallas might be able to sell somebody on potential. But even then, I mean, we're talking about players, like if you're getting traded, more than likely it's because you're not producing. Yeah. So, I think Reggie Bullock would be interesting. Solid defender, pretty good shooter. I think a lot of teams would take a flyer on him, and I think Dallas would be willing to get rid of him.
They don't defend anybody either. They need defense. That's the crazy thing about it. What about Kendrick Nunn, yo? What's up with him? Do y'all need him anymore?
He's hurt. He hasn't played. He's still hurt. He got hurt in the offseason.
Give me any guard who could create. Anyone who could get by people and guard people. That's all I want. If you could guard NBA players, please dial 1-800-HELP the Knicks.
Well, Bullock might be available back to you guys, so maybe he comes back and he's rejuvenated, or you just done with him.
What are we gonna do? We're gonna go back to 2020 again? I don't want to go back. I want to go forward.
2020 is better than 2021.
Fact.
So
I don't want to go back. It's not. It's bad the same way.
all right. So here we go. LeBron James and James Harden are the only two players in NBA history with 20,000 points, 5,000 assists, and 2,000 threes. 20K points, 20K assists. 5,000 assists and 2K threes. Harden is an obvious Hall of Famer. We acknowledge that. But is he potentially underrated? I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on this. Is James Harden underrated in the grand scheme of things historically?
Cash, you
I
want to
was
start?
blown away by this. I was blown away by the fact that you even suggested this. Like, who's even suggesting that he's overrated?
Underrated is
Underrated.
Question.
Yeah, but okay, underrated. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that he's rated. Everybody thinks he's great, right? Like, that's what I mean. Like, who is suggesting this? Like
when I look at players, he has all the individual accolades, triple doubles, MVPs, the whole 9 scoring titles. He doesn't win. He hasn't won. So at some point, again, this is an individual accolade.
Yeah, Hall of Fame is exactly. Hall of Fame is
the NBA, the Basketball Hall of Fame is a joke. Everybody gets into the Hall of Fame, but James Harden, 25 and 2, 20,000, 5,000, and 2,000, all individual achievements. So yeah, is he a great player? Absolutely, but is he underrated? Like, are people kind of diminishing how good he actually is because he hasn't won? He hasn't been part of a championship team or a championship run, or the fact that those years in Houston was a lot of iso ball and a lot of threes and things like that. Right. Has he become has his status kind of diminished because of that, and kind of how he forced his way out of Houston and the whole 9? Like, I feel like we don't talk about James Harden the way we used to.
James Harden is a top 5 shooting guard of all time, in my opinion. That's without a doubt. If you want my list, I'll give it to you. Obviously, Kobe, Jordan. I just in no particular order. Kobe, Jordan, D. Wade, Harden, and then I love Ray Allen, so Ray Allen's always going to be on my top 5 list.
Is Allen Iverson not considered a 2?
If you look him up, he's considered a point guard.
Really?
I don't know if that's true. But
yeah, I don't know that that's true either.
I'm almost positive. Look up any top 5 or top whatever shooting guards list, and Allen Iverson won't be on it because he's not listed as a shooting guard.
Okay.
So I think actually James Harden is overrated. Let me tell you why.
Wow.
The last couple of years, I've seen some really dumb Twitter takes tell me that James Harden is not only better than Dwayne Wade, but he's better than Kobe. And that's when I started to really question what people was what are people watching? And James Harden's great. I'm not saying he's not great. He's great.
Yeah.
But when you're putting up there with those two dudes who not only did everything James Harden did and then some, but won championships and dominated at the highest stage. Like Dwayne Wade in 2006 was possessed.
Yeah.
Literally, this kid was, and he was 2 years out of college. He was not a seasoned vet. Young Dwayne Wade, Shaq comes in there. Shaq is like, yo, this is your squad. Dwayne Wade said, I bet. We down 0-2. They go and win 4 straight.
4 straight.
Kobe, even when Shaq was racking up those finals MVPs, Shaq gets hurt versus Indiana, right? And Kobe's like, chill, bro. I got us.
Yeah.
He goes on a crazy run, puts Reggie Miller in the blender and everybody, and he pulls the Lakers away in that game, and that eventually helped the Lakers win that series. Those are memorable playoff moments and championship moments.
Yeah.
James Harden he's been in the finals.
Have any of those.
We forget how awful he was in the finals for the Thunder in 2012.
Yeah.
He was brutal.
Yeah.
Given that he wasn't this player yet because he was the 6th man, and he was still, young.
But he had a great playoff leading up to that. He was like
did.
the reason they got him.
Oh, he was 6th man of the year. And you know what's
Yeah.
crazy? We said they'll be back. They'll figure it out.
Yep.
They
But all the
never
guys
made
they
it back.
had, look at all the guys they had. Their guys are spread all over the league helping
The
out.
only dude who made it back was KD with those, steroid Warriors teams.
Yeah.
None of those other guys ever made it back. And even Harden and Thunder, we got together again, in Houston. And, Russ was talking crazy after one game in the bubble. And then the Lakers went on and won 4 straight and got him out of there. So It's like, what is Harden's moment? Is it step backs that we're just going to look at step backs and, questionable travels? I know Johnell hates when I say that, but it's just a thing, right? Like, what is his defining moment that we're just putting him up there with those guys? And we know the numbers are there.
It's just like you said, though. It's like you could look at him, you could just look at the eye test, and anywhere you put James Harden, you put a basketball on the court.
But he's not as good as Kobe. He's not as athletic.
No, he's not as good as Kobe. What I'm saying is, like, you could look at him and say, there are other reasons, like, that those moments that you're talking about haven't happened. Because on the teams he played on in Houston, a lot of times there's either one other guy or basically he's 1-on-5 against whoever he's playing against. So they key in on him and stuff like that. And, that was, to me, I think, that once things zero in on him for real, it got real difficult for him to play his game. So that, you know what I mean? Like, he's an ISO player. It gets tough for him to play that game in a crowd.
He's not a two-way player. Dwayne Wade and Kobe were locking up on defense.
Yeah, I'm saying that as far as a crafty scorer.
No, he's one of the best scorers we've seen, right?
You can see him. You can see him play basketball and know, this dude is nice.
Yeah, might be real good. Putting up there with those 2 heavy hitters. I'm like, y'all gotta relax. Like,
I also hate the argument of people are keying in on him. Like, you're the best player on the team. Are we just gonna let you go? Let you rock?
No,
like,
right. I'm not saying that, but he's not seeing one-on-ones, John. He's not a 7-footer like Shaq who could take on triple teams and just dunk over people.
No one's seeing one-on-ones anymore.
Yeah,
no one's seeing one-on-ones. Steph's not seeing one-on-ones. KD's not seeing one-on-ones. Like, you get just deliver, bro. At some point, you just gotta. That's why I got off the Aaron Rodgers boat. Like, I was tired of making excuses for why this guy was not winning more than one Super Bowl. It's like after a while, bro, I don't care, man. Just do it. Just figure it out. Everyone else figure it out.
That's it.
And I'm a big context guy, but it's just like James Harden again. He's great, but we gotta put him up there with context. Don't just say this brother is top 3 and it's Jordan, Kobe, and Wade and James Harden. Like, there's not a gap. There's a gap.
Yeah. And,
like,
and to make that point, very clear, is LeBron and Harden on the same level?
Wait, you're asking is LeBron and Jordan?
No, LeBron and Harden.
Oh, come on.
20,000, 5,000, 2,000, the only 2 players in history. Are they on the same level?
Hell
no.
So, to your point, context. It's context.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
How do you get to those numbers without being like,
bro? It's think about this. Quarterbacks now in the NFL are throwing for 5,000 yards easily. That was a huge deal 10, 15 years ago. Now it's not. Now Jared Goff could throw for 5,000 yards, and it's like it's the time that we're in. The rules have changed. It's in favor of that, not taken away from Harden and his ability to score, because he is special as a scorer of the basketball.
100%.
But you can't touch him. He goes to the free throw line a million times. But just look at this year and tell me, why is this Harden not as effective as 4 years ago Harden, where, all those fouls were getting called, that he was driving to the basket, any little contact, all of the jumping, throwing yourself into the guys. Once they remove that, you're seeing a whole different layer of James Harden. It's like, is this who this guy was this entire time when you actually allow people to play defense on him?
Right.
That makes me wonder.
Right.
Fair enough. I still think, he's a hooper. You put him in a telephone booth and he'll step back on you and still smack a joint in your face.
Not denying that.
He's definitely a dog. I'm not going to take that away from him. All right, here we go. Ray Allen made some comments that some people thought were a little slight, disrespectful even. On the Dan Patrick show, they asked him about Steph and the whole greatest shooter of all time. Ray was like, whoa, pause. He said, when did I pass the baton as who's the greatest shooter of all time? Now, it's been well spoken for over a decade now that Steph's the greatest shooter we've ever seen, right? It's like not even a discussion anymore. And Ray's just like, y'all got it easy. Y'all got to take it easy with that. Does Ray Allen have a point that he might still be considered the greatest three-point shooter of all time, or is he just an old man that's got to go back into his couch and enjoy the game?
Exactly. It's not even a discussion. I think there's context. First of all, it's Steph, obviously. But when you're talking about, like, if I was going to teach my kid how to shoot a basketball and I was going to show him a player's form, I would show him how Ray Allen shot. Whereas if you're talking about repetition and just like Steph Curry says in that commercial, on that Under Armour commercial, what do you think about when you're shooting? And he said, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
That is what I'm talking. Like, that's repetition. So many shots he's put up that when he goes like this, it's going in. That's how he's able to turn around while it's still in the air and be like, it's like he knows what it feels like for a made shot to come off of his fingertips because it's just done it so many times. So that's what makes him the greatest shooter of all time. Not saying that Ray Allen doesn't have some semblance of that same feeling when he shoots. And I don't there's that one play. So for instance, that one play that Steph has where 4 dudes are like around him, he's dribbling crazy, he runs back and just like that's not. I'm not gonna tell my kid who's learning how to play basketball to shoot that shot. I'm gonna show the play you were talking about in the finals with Ray Allen. Even though under duress, the pressure moment, the smallest spot on the court, elbow in, hands tight, fingertips of the ball, everything. Check the list. Ray Allen did everything form-wise perfect, and that's why the shot went in. You know what I'm saying? Like Steph, again, it's just repetition. Anybody who's played basketball, you just learn, like, free throws, that's what it is. That's why they tell you to shoot them all the time, because eventually you can shoot them with your eyes closed. It's repetition over and over again, muscle memory. So I think that's what it is more with Steph. It's the talent, it's the muscle memory. But as far as, like, Ray Allen, that's one of those
context conversations. We're talking about context. Is this one of those we gotta?
Yeah, this is a context conversation. But Steph is the greatest shooter of all time.
Because I don't think Ray's crazy. Yeah, I think people gotta relax on with Ray saying he's the greatest shooter of all time. I think
like J. Cole right now in the comments.
Because we know J. Cole. J. Cole's either right or left. He doesn't really
all the way wrong right now. It's right or left. He's wrong. It's right or wrong.
Is Steph the greatest? And I agree. I do think Steph is the greatest shooter of all time. Is he the greatest because of the creativity in which he's able to get threes and at the volume that he's able to get them from 30? Anywhere from 30 to 40 is Steph is kind of in range, right?
Yep.
Being able to create his own three-pointer like the way he does. And just, again, the volume, just capable of going off for 10 on any given night. Or 16 like some of you idiots thought, right? But is that what separates him? Or is he just a better – because I think Ray's a better pure shooter. I said this on Twitter. If you ask me one three-point shot for my life right now, just have a guy shoot it for me to either die or live, I would have Ray take that shot because it's just perfect. The release, the everything. I've seen him do it.
Perfect.
So would we say Ray is not bananas and it's just a contextual conversation that we could have by saying two things could be true?
No. So my thing with the whole Ray Allen interview, it wasn't what he was saying. It was the fact that he was saying it. So
I agree.
Yeah.
So in the conversation, he was just, to kind of rehash the points. He's like, like, I'm still here. Like, I still feel like I'm the greatest shooter of all time. Yada yada yada, the whole nine. Like, barbershop talk, right? So Sean is going to tell you, and Cash, you said the same thing. If we're just talking about pure shooting form, you look at Ray Allen and it's flawless. Perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
The
only thing he's missing is being lefty. If he was lefty, it'd be truly perfect. It'd be a truly perfect shot.
But then you get Steph, and again, the game has changed. So when Ray Allen was playing, when Reggie Miller was playing, they might have been putting up 5 or 6 threes a game, whereas now, you got Steph getting 10 threes up again.
Teams were shooting that when Ray Allen was coming in.
Yeah, you got teams now shooting 30, 40 times a game. So the game has changed, but you look at Steph's efficiency. Like, he's shooting this many times. He's still shooting at a close to 40. I don't know what the numbers are offhand, but close to a 40% clip.
Right.
Like,
he's still like 6 for like like crazy. He's like 6 for 18 or
the way that we play the game, the way that the game is played. Like Sean said, 30 feet and out, that's Steph's range. And it completely changes the way the other players on the court can play.
They play in so much space, yo. It's all motion all the time. You saw it last night. and because you have to spread out so far to account for his shooting ability. And then
Exactly.
you have to – it's just crazy. You also have to play up on him too. You can't just come and kind of shade him out there. You got to play up on him because he'll shoot it or he'll drive it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's great. He's great. We know it. He's great.
Yeah. No, I don't have an issue with – I truly don't have an issue with what Ray Allen said. I think if Sean was saying it, I'd be like, yeah, like, no, that's cool. But the fact that he's sitting there and he's like, oh, no, like, there's no way Steph is better. Like, to me,
It's a little bit of the competitor in him too, right? Like, the competitive juice has still got to be flowing inside these guys, even though they're a few years removed from playing.
But Ray's never talked about this. So I want, like, in the week of Steph going for the record, you say it comes off a little bitter. I was wondering why he said it when he said it. He's never talked.
Right.
Ray's humble. He doesn't talk about how great he is. He's never done that. So it caught me by surprise, John.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely. Like even little stuff like last night, if you watched post game when he's getting interviewed by Shaq and the boys, Ray Allen's in the back and he's holding up his jersey, and like
way. Did Spike get that?
Spike probably got a picture of that. And again, like he had his jersey, Reggie Miller had his own jersey, but Ray Allen's in the back holding his up, and it's like, bro, like this isn't your moment.
No, that's weird.
So like that was my thing. Like I don't have an issue with him saying, nah, like I'm still that guy.
I think that's unfair though. They shared the moment.
Nah, that's not your moment, Ray. That's not your moment, Ray.
You're passing a torch.
No.
In a passing of the torch,
I don't even know why he went there.
Players share the moment.
I don't even know why he went there. He didn't need to be there, bro.
And it was special. It wasn't like that. Exactly. It was definitely a special moment. You had Reggie calling the game who was there. That's who Ray took it from. And then you had Ray there who Steph was going to take it from. Everybody in the building knew what was going to happen. They all shared the moment together.
Why did Ray need to be in the building?
What? Why did he need to be in the building?
I saw Ray post on Twitter that he was looking for tickets and he couldn't, like, Spike was ignoring his call. Why was he so hell-bent on being there?
Because he wanted to be part of the moment.
No, he wanted to not be forgotten. No, now I feel
nobody's going to forget Ray Allen. Stop that. Come on, man.
Bro, have you been on Twitter all week? People are asking, who's Ray Allen? The kids who know Steph don't know Ray Allen.
The kids who know Steph are 12. Ray Allen was done when they were born.
That's his point.
That's my point. He's like, hey, there was a guy that the record of the guy he's breaking, yeah, I'm that guy. He's still living. Okay, he still looks fairly good. Like, he looks like he can still play. That's what Ray is kind of doing with all this, like, whole publicity tour of Steph's moment. It's weird.
I just assume that, like, everybody's going to be, like, a basketball history nerd like I am when they're that age and be, like, digging into basketball reference to, like, see how much Sean Kemp averaged in 1992 or some weird stuff like that. Like, that's me. But I don't know. Maybe these kids just ain't up on it like that.
So I asked you guys, the kids are not doing that. So I asked you guys this. The kids, that my students don't know who Dave Chappelle is, and I couldn't believe that. Reggie Miller, the guy who Ray actually broke his record to become the three-point king before Steph broke his, says that Steph's record, which is obviously in counting, right? He said that record will never be broken. Do we think it'll never be broken? Or
never be broken.
So you don't think Trae Young, who actually got off to a faster start than Steph in his career, and is still only a baby, has a shot in 20 years? Or let's say a Luka, or let's say, one of those guys out there who are just
none of them make it at the clip. They shoot as many as Steph, but none of them make them at the clip that Steph does. Like, Steph literally stands alone as the only player in the history of basketball to make 5 per game, average 5 per game. He's the only player ever.
He's the only one to make 400 in a season.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it's only going up. Guys are only jacking them up more now.
Yeah. I think the progression of the game, like as it goes, exactly, volume's going to go up, so people are going to be shooting more threes. And in the league, you see what's happening right now. The game is changing to it. So, and then the natural progression of just players, kids are going to be shooting more at younger ages. It's going to become more acceptable in the game, and they're going to teach it when they're younger. So I think that they're going to definitely be somebody who challenges it. But Steph is only he's going to break it by 100 this year. He's going to be 100 over at the end of the season, and then he's going to play 6 more seasons after this.
Yeah.
And let's say he tails off. So now at the end of his career, when he's like a maybe off the bench 20-minute a game guy or something like that. If he's ever that, he's still gonna be in there just to smack threes, hitting what 3, 4, 5 again.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about guys like Trey. Again, remember Steph struggled early on in his career, just
That
staying
was
on the court.
injury though.
Just staying on the court, and then Trey rookie year was just wilding for respect. And we know Trey's a great 3-point shooter, and he's one of those guys who's modeled his game after Steph.
Yep.
Shooting the long ball and things of that nature. So he came to mind. I don't think he'll break it. Again, I don't know, right? It's too early to say.
Yeah.
But he was one of the people that came to mind. I'm like, wait, Trey can't do this in 25 years or so? Because these dudes are, Trey's going to be jacking them up.
You just never see like a team's best player be like his best thing is a 3-point shot. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's never
Reggie Miller.
Like, but was it Reggie he shot the 3 good, but he was an all around player.
Oh, you're saying his best thing, but I'm saying
like his best move. Like Steph's not a guy who's gonna take it to you and jam it on you. Like, he's not a slasher. He is a 3-point shooter, like an assassin. And that's what I mean. Like, it's not. I can't think off the top of my head. Like, even out of all those shooting guards that I was listening to, all those point guards, I can't think of any of them that were just pure shooters. But that's what they built the team around him. They designed the team around him.
And you know what's crazy?
He's unique, man.
When you say that, I started thinking about Ray Allen. Ray Allen was dynamic,
what?
man.
He was yamming on people.
Yeah. So
what?
like as great of a shooter as he was, like that's not how he came into the league.
In 2000, I think it was. It was 2000, I want to say, where he yammed on Tracy McGrady when he was on Orlando.
On a lot of cats. He was yamming on a lot of cats.
He yammed on Tracy McGrady so hard his body was perpendicular or parallel to the ground. Like, he was hanging on the rim like this with one arm, yo. It was crazy.
Man.
I was like, yeah, I remember that. And, yeah, Bucks Ray was crazy. Seattle Ray was crazy.
Cole, when I say 25 years, I'm not being literal. I'm just saying when those guys play for like LeBron's going on year 20 next year. So I'm just talking about when those guys play forever. And at the rate that they're jacking up threes now, it's never been done before.
Yeah.
Like, whether they're like even Anthony Edwards is already at like 290-something 3-pointers.
That's crazy.
A year and a half.
That is crazy.
I'm like, I didn't even know he was a 3-point shooter.
Yeah. I didn't even know he was.
But you take enough, you're going to make some. So, like.
Right.
Yo, and you want to know something crazy, too? Again, speaking of shooting guards, Vince Carter in the top 10 of 3-pointers all the day. He's like number 6.
In his career. That's all he was really doing later.
But that's wild, right? Like, we don't remember Vince Carter as you remember for shots and dunking and putting his arm in the rim, not for being a 3-point shooter. But at the end of his career, like you said, that was what he did.
Yeah. Yo, it'll be interesting.
And Jamal Crawford, too.
Right?
Jamal. We're not. There's no right here. We ain't talking Jamal Crawford, man.
Why, yo? Don't be disrespectful to Jamal Crawford.
Thank you.
Even Michael Jordan got respect for Jamal Crawford.
This is not Rucker.
Michael Jordan put Jamal Crawford in a commercial to play younger version of him.
This isn't and one, bro. This is organized basketball. We're not talking.
Jamal Crawford ain't good at organized basketball?
I'm not saying he's not good. We're just not talking Jamal Crawford when we're talking about the type of dudes we're talking about. Okay? But have some respect for the program.
Anytime I can bring up Jamal Crawford on this show, just know I'm a
I hope anybody from Seattle, all those Seattle basketball players, listen to his disrespect and respond to him accordingly on Twitter.
You're trying to get me for you. I'll go on Twitter.
Real ballers out there.
I'll go and Jamal's in my top 2020. With that said, that'll end our show because this brother's been wilding all
Jamal Crawford on the Knicks was crazy.
He said James Harden's better than Jordan or something like that. And with that said, again, thank you for everybody who tapped in.
Better than Harden.
Huh? Jamal's better than Harden. He's not. I'm playing. If any of you guys are in the Danbury area local, check out the Danbury Hatters tomorrow night versus Bethel in Immaculate. If I'm not mistaken, we should be in the building for that. And just keep tapping in here. We're going to post some of these clips. Comment. Let us know what you think. Drop any topics that you want us to discuss in the future. Like contribution to the show. Holla at a play when you see him in the street. And remember that I always do know what I know, brothers and sisters. Holla at your boy.
Big bong.